I'm Bob the Cigar Guy. This is Travelers Rest, South Carolina, and it is Friday. Brr, 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 brr. It is time, 5 o'clock, time to get out of work, get in that car, and get to living. That's right. We don't live so we can work. We work so we can live. And it is time to sit back and listen to me on your ride home. Now, always remember this. If your ride is not an hour long, pause this thing and leave it later for when somebody else is asleep. You're not spending time with them, because life begins on the other side of that car door. Get out of that door as soon as you get in the yard, get in the house, and get to living with the people that you love and that love you back, because that's what life is all about. All that in cigars. And we're going to talk about some cigars, and we're going to talk about some Barn Smoker. But I forgot to tell you, this is I Got the Smokes Let's Ride podcast with me, BTCG Camacho, presented episode 34. Thank you to all our friends at Camacho. And today I have to give a great thank you to my friend Benjamin Madeira. That's right. He gave me at Barn Smoker something awesome, something phenomenal, something fantastic, something that I can't get. Now it is gone. It is done. It was exclusive and limited, and now it is done its run. But he just put it in my hand. He said, "You're sponsored by Camacho, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You have this?" I said, "No." He goes, "Here." And I said, No, don't give me that." And he goes, No, you take it. I brought it just for you. And this is the triangle of tobacco tastiness, right? This is the Camacho Diploma Black. Diploma? All right, maybe Mr. T. Diplomat Black. I don't know. But this thing, look at the piano black on that. Oh, let's open it up. Whoa. Oh, that's beautiful right there. I did not jump into binder, filler, wrapper. I did not get into the blend. Why? Because I'm lazy. But this is not a cigar review. This is time for me and you to connect and kick back and just let the world pass us by. An oasis, a moment of peace and pause. And I got to tell you, I need it. I know you need it. And I'm glad you're here, because life is better when we're doing things together. That's right. And I mean that, but I'm going to cut this thing and I'm going to smoke this thing. And I hope you've got something fired up. Now, if you're in a rental car, don't do that. If you're in a really good car, I probably wouldn't do that either. But if you're like Chief in a big old tired truck, fire it up and let her eat, right? Have a good time on your ride home with a cigar. But if not, I hope you smoke a cigar this weekend, because this is the time you get to recharge, prepare yourself to do your laundry, and to get ready for next week, because it's coming. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you spent your time, your most valuable resource. That's right. You only have so much time. You don't know how much you got. You can't make more. The fact that you want to spend time with me and give it to me is an honor and a privilege, and I take it seriously. So I hope the content is going to give you a moment to laugh, a moment to think or reflect, and to have a little bit of peace, because boy, peace is so hard to find these days. Let me get a little peace right here. Ooh. That's something right there. I tell you what, smooth, mellow. I know. Right? You got Davidoff, the parent company. And then you got Avo, and you've got Zeno Nicaraguan. You've even got that Baccarat, but then you've got the Camacho. Camacho is like that child in the family that just goes wide open, bored out, and does crazy things, but is just lovely inside. But this has such a smooth, mellow flavor. Man, I'll be honest. If you would have given me this cigar and I didn't have a band on it, I would not have pegged it as Camacho at first. I would not have done it. I wouldn't. But I tell you what, that just lets me know that Camacho and Davidoff and all the other groups in the Davidoff family just are multifaceted. They're like gems of tobacco tastiness. They are, because they just want to make sure that you have a fantastic smoking experience. Because I told you, you only have so much time. You don't know how much you have. And so you only have so much money. You can make more money, but it's hard, right? The struggle's real. Budgets are budget, and eggs are still expensive. And so they don't want you to spend money on a cigar that's going to be like, oh, the construction was bad, or the flavors were muddy, or it was just nah. They don't want you to do that. They want to give you an opportunity to take a moment with them, because when they make these cigars, they make it for you. They may not know your name, but they know that somebody is going to enjoy their hard work and craftsmanship. Over 200 hands. Now think about this. When the seed goes into the seedlings and then into the ground and then into the harvest and then into the barn and then into the pilon and then into the aging process and then into the rolling process, the sorting process and the rolling process. Then it goes to the cooling room, the aging room, and then it goes from there into the cellophane room and then into the box room, and then it's got to get packed up to be shipped, and then it's got to be sent to your purveyor, and then you get to put your hand in it. You get to get one. Over 200 hands have touched this for you. That's right. For you, right? This one's for me. You can't have that. That's kind of weird. I'm not sharing cigars. I bring extra so you can have one of those. But speaking of cigars, speaking of bringing extra, speaking of amazingness, the First Lady, Chief, and myself got the opportunity to go spend 4 days, but for 2 days doing the Connecticut Barn Smoker by Drew Estate. That's right. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. It was fantastic. You've already missed it. It's already passed. Second Saturday with the First Lady was the third Saturday because we were in Connecticut on the second Saturday. She tried so hard to say, hey, let's just do it from the Barn Smoker. And I said, no. And she said, absolutely no, because we're busy. And we also want to hang out with everybody there. So we just couldn't do it. So we did it today. And she gave away a full Barn Smoker setup in that bag. Oh, we're going to talk about that bag. That bag is amazing. It is. I'll tell you what, I told them when we were at the Barn Smoker, we gave out 1,800 bags over 2 days. Yet he ain't got nothing on this bag. It is a big cooler bag. It has so many pockets. It has so much branding, so many everything else. And I just noticed when the First Lady was showing it off, it has a pouch that you can slide over your travel carry-on suitcase so it doesn't fall off your suitcase. I mean, they thought of everything. Not only did you get that, you got a killer hat, and the hat was banging, and you got a sweat towel, and you got some sunglasses. What am I forgetting? Cigars. Oh my gosh. You walked up. You didn't have to pay $10 this year. FDA done backed off of that. Let me puff my cigar. You walked up and you saw somebody taking care of you. The First Lady was there putting wristbands on people, and I was out there slinging bags and making people smile. And let's see, Roy and Maddie and Pete and a guy called Chrome. He's got so much silver jewelry on. He never passed a metal detector. And then there were others all over the place, and we were getting that line through 900 people a day in less than an hour, banging, because we want to get you on the other side of it. But you didn't have to pay the $10, and you got 10 cigars, not 10 small cigars, not 10 little bitty trial demo cigars. No, you got big cigars, and you got the Liga A, a bunch of Ligas. You got a shade of black. You got an Undercrown. You got a couple Hoyas. Oh my gosh, the list just goes on. Your entry price was paid for with those cigars. You made your money back on your cigars. And then you have this bag, which I got to tell you, I've been to a lot of Barn Smokers, and I've seen a lot of swag. My backpack that I take to work every day is a Drew Estate Barn Smoker bag from 4 years ago. Drew Estate doesn't make swag to last a week. It doesn't make swag to last till your next box purchase. They make swag to last forever. And there's a lot of guys that were there on the Drew Estate team and volunteers that were carrying the same bag. Those bags last. And we've had bags, we've had shoulder bags, we've had all sorts of things. But this year with that cooler bag, one of the ways I can tell it is one of the best bags is we have this little game. After the Barn Smoker's over, we all go back and hang out at the hotel, volunteers and staff. And somebody always pull up on their phone, eBay. And before people have driven home, they already got their Drew Estate Barn Smoker swag on eBay. Every time. I looked the second day and nobody had it up for sale. 2 days later, only one person had it up for sale, and it was 200 bones. And cigars were not included. That's how good the swag is. Everybody wants a swag. It has got dividers. You could put cigars in it. You could put shoes, which I don't have shoes worth putting in a bag like that. You could put cooler stuff in there, right? And everything's cooler in a Drew Estate bag, but you could put things you need to keep cold. You could divide it where you could put stuff that's cold and the stuff that needs to be separate and not get wet or whatever. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff. I mean, that thing is multifaceted with tons of pockets. Loved it. Fantastic bag. Now, First Lady gave hers away, but First Lady doesn't smoke cigar. So she had a chance to get an event bag of cigars. She was working, and everybody that worked and volunteers got an event bag of cigars. 10 cigars, including a Liga A, which you can't get except pretty much at Barn Smokers. She didn't get her bag of cigars. But she gave away cigars. My cigars. That First Lady. God dog it, I love her. She's lucky I love her because I'd lock the door more often. I'd hide the keys. But she does her great giveaways on second Saturdays. You ought to be there to watch it. And the content is great. That content is, it's like she's sitting right next to me and I'm doing a infomercial for her, but I'm not. I talk about this all the time. It's for non-cigar smokers. Right. That's weird. When she pitched it to me and Chief, because yes, she's the First Lady. She's my sweetheart. She's my wife, my love, and my life. And she's mama. But this is business. And so she said, I got an idea. I want to do a monthly show where I do stuff for people who don't smoke cigars, who love people who smoke cigars. And I'm like, all right, flesh it out. Come up with a couple episode scripts, thinking it was just something that she'd have in her head. I'll get to that in a second. And then I said, and then pitch it. And she did. And she came in with college level outlines with minutes next to it and everything else. I'm like, all right. And the content was great. It's fantastic because what it does is it gives people who love people who smoke cigars an insight into that lifestyle, because it's not all about smoking cigars. It's not. It's about that connection. It's about that relationship. It's also about smoking cigars. I'm not going to lie about that, but it's more than that. And First Lady does not love cigars, but she does appreciate, and I think she has an affection for the culture because they are genuinely nice people that care of each other. And it's really, really nice. And so she wanted to do the show. And I said, all right, let's give it a shot. And we'll do some giveaways. And so the First Lady looks forward to it every single month. And she is prepared. Chief Talk, he does a little bit right before the show. Me, no, I told you this is unscripted, right? We just kind of go. Probably the reason I'm talking about this so much is just because it's Saturday before this drops. And we just did second Saturday with the First Lady, and it's on my mind, right? God, no. I wish you could take over and do the talking because I'd love to keep doing the smoking. This thing is so smooth. It's so mellow. It's like all the flavors are covered in gravy. That's weird, right? But it's not, because they just flow together so well. They just sit on your tongue, and the leathers and the cedars and the smooth. It's not creamy because it's too dark to be creamy, but it's so smooth. It is. There's a little bit of dark chocolate in the background. It is nice. It's almost as smooth as a Connecticut shade if a Connecticut shade could be a full-bodied cigar. That's what I'm going to say. If they set them in front of me and said, okay, this is from one of the Davidoff companies, what company is it from? I would say it's Davidoff. I would say it's one of the Churchills or something like that. It's just so smooth. But this Camacho is knocking my socks off. Man, I love it. We're already 15 minutes in. My word. I haven't talked much about Barn Smoker yet. So lovely. How's your drive? I hope it's good. I hope people are treating you well on the road. I hope that traffic is not difficult, right? I did a video that will drop Sunday. I have very few days off right now, so I got to shoot my content back to back to back and just drop them up later. But I did a video Sunday that basically said too much compromise. And I was smoking a Sin Compromiso, which that ain't gonna hurt my feelings at all. And I was talking about something I experienced on the way to Barn Smoker. I have a friend. Yes, I do. Quit being surprised. I have a friend, and let's call him Will. Will is a stout feller. Will, he's built. He's got gravity on his side, a lot like me, but more, bigger, swole, solid, right? And Will likes to fly first class. Pays for a ticket, flies first class. They only got 2 seats on each side in first class. They got 3 seats back where we stay in stowage. Me and the first lady and chief went. And which I'm lucky because I don't fit in those seats really well. It's a gamble if the seatbelt clicks. But usually the first lady gets our seats and she allows me to sit next to her. And even if she got the aisle seat, she gives me the aisle seat so I can lean out a little bit. But if I need to lean back in because the chair's a little tight, I can lean on the first lady, and that's kind of nice. So I don't have that problem. And Chief usually gets an outside seat. He got an inside seat this time, and it was kind of tight on him. But, you know, Chief's a big old boy. But Will takes ahead, spends a little extra change, gets first class. I ain't hating him. So first class loads first. That's why it's first class. We're 6th class. So we late. So they check him in at the gate. Bing. He goes down the gangway. Group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, finally group 6. We get in group 6. We go down there, and Will is still standing out there waiting to get on the plane. And I'm like, you all right? He goes, just laid him a seat. And luckily it was boarding slow so he could tell us a story. He went in there, and there was a lady sitting in his seat. And he went to the stewardess very quietly, very calmly, very polite. And he said, that lady's in my seat. Thinking she just mixed seats because it happens all the time. People get in the wrong row or something like that. And Will showed that stewardess his ticket. Ticket said he was supposed to be in that seat, right? It's guaranteed he's in that seat. Oh, the stewardess says, hang on, I'll take care of it. Goes over to the lady and says, ma'am, can I see your ticket? This is not your seat. She goes, this is my seat. I'm sitting here. And she goes, can I see your ticket? And there was a mix-up of some sort with tickets or something. And so the lady called back to whatever office, whatever it is, to see whose seat it is. And it is unequivocally Will's seat. Did I tell you Will's a big guy? He is a big guy. He could be imposing if he wanted to, but he wasn't. His body language was down. He was trying to be as humble and as simple as possible and kind. And they come back over the radio to the lady and said that's Will's seat. Will, they went to the lady and they said, hey, it's his seat. And she goes, I ain't moving. I ain't moving. I ain't moving. She goes, ma'am, you have to move. That's Will's seat. I'm not getting up. I don't care. She was not having it, even though it was not her seat. And they were trying to make concessions for her. And she had planted her feet and was dead. Now, they went over to Will and they said, sir, it is your seat. You deserve your seat. She will not get up. So we can do 2 things. We can stop boarding the plane. We can make everybody get off the plane, and we can um, have the enforcement people remove her from the plane. And I think she would have just went limp and laid down and got dragged out of the plane while holding her phone. That was the vibe I was picking up. I don't know if that's true because it didn't go that way, but she goes, or we can compensate you, but you'll have to sit back in the Bob the Cigar Guy area with all the other people. And Will could have rightfully said, no, that's my seat. I paid good money for that seat. I planned ahead. I didn't buy the seat yesterday. I bought the seat a while back, and this is what I want. He said, well, that's fine. And very humbly and very graciously, he went and sat back with us common people. He did. And one of the things that frustrated me most, and the reason I talked about it in that video, and the reason I'm talking about it now, is because entitlement frustrates me. People that are entitled, that use their entitlement, frustrate me. But people who feel entitled when they know they're not really gets under my skin. It does. It bothers the fool out of me. And this lady was that. And the evidence of the character of that lady to me was that when Will was leaving, getting picked up in the car to go to the hotel, the lady was driving by in a truck and she basically said, hey, thanks for your seat. And then she kind of laughed like she was being stinky. That frustrated me. But Will did not tell his story. He did not say, guys, you would not believe the jerk that I had to deal with. You wouldn't believe it. He wouldn't do that. He didn't do that. So guess what? I did. I said, man, y'all be proud of Will. Will could have got us all off the plane, but he didn't. I believe in when you see somebody doing something great, you ought to look for opportunities to let them shine. People ought to know. So I was proud of Will and what he did. I would hope that I would do the same situation, but I'm not sure. I might say, I want my seat. I ain't never sat in first class, so I don't know what I'm missing. But if I did usually, maybe so. But barn smokers. There we go. Barn smokers. I'm going to sit back. Come here, microphone. All right. So if you don't know what a barn smoker is, Drew Estate puts on an event at a different barn that they buy tobacco from in different places. They've had them in Connecticut, Florida, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, New Orleans. They had the Savage Feast at Dallas. I think that's it. Louisiana. I said New Orleans, so it's in Louisiana. La Poche Parish. And you get to go experience the farm, which is a great experience. And you also get to get education stations where you learn from the farmer, Jonathan Drew and Willie Herrera and Pedro and Henry sometimes, of the whole process of your cigar, those 200 hands. And they talk about the different stations from the seed to almost cellophane, right? Seed to complete cigar. And you get to experience that. But it's not just that. You don't just get the swag. You don't just get the cigars. You don't just get that. You'll get great food, lots of it. You'll get great entertainment through all the people up at the stage. And you will get DJ Eli playing music. You will have lots of adult libations if you choose to imbibe. You will get the most feel-good, fun, awesome vibe. You get to give money and do raffles for Cigars for Warriors and possibly win some one-off subculture studio art, which is amazing. You'll get to do activation stations, which it's basically like a festival for cigars. It really is for Drew Estate Cigars. It's amazing. You get to go to all these different tents and you can do things like roll cigars, or the First Lady was working after she worked the registration booth the first day, she was working on one of the activation stations, which is Subculture Station, where they had a bunch of full-size Drew Estate stencils of different brands and their logos. And you got a canvas. They had canvases there, and you could spray paint your canvas. It's amazing. Everybody loved it. Some of the art was fantastic. And then they ran out of canvases. First lady came up with the idea, said, "Hey, you got a brand new bag. Why don't you spray paint that?" Some people did that. And then I saw some people starting to spray paint clothes. They pulled clothes out. Thank God they brought spare clothes, because I'm glad someone didn't say, "Man, I want to paint my jeans." And then they're either taping it on themselves while they're wearing it and spray painting, or they're taking their clothes off. And that's not family friendly. No. But you also can play basketball and win cigars. At every station, you get cigars. You play Shut the Box at Hoya. They had a new activation this year. Subculture spray painting was a new activation, but you also got to go to the Liga activation, and you got a pairing adult beverage, and you also got a Liga 9. All the cigars you get are full size. They have a leather rose area where they have the Deadwood Girls. You can get your picture took with them. They actually had a soda cigar pairing, which is kind of neat. Different beverages made just for pairing for cigars. And you got a leather rose. You got to go to the Undercrown rolling station. You got to roll your own Undercrown cigars. That's right. They did the binder and the filler, but you rolled the wrapper. And I found out for sure that I'm a much better cigar smoker than I am a cigar roller, because my cigars look like Fido's behind. It yard rocket all day long. And I have to wait a month before I can smoke them, but they're the Undercrown blend. And I put a lot of glue on that thing. It's not coming off. It's not that wrapper is not coming off. That's for sure. There's another station called Brothers of the Leaf with their beverages, and there's going to be a new cigar brought back out. Remember the BOTL? It's now going to be a Brothers of the Leaf cigar for that group. Drew Estate's going to make it for them. And they actually had their second test blend. They had a bunch of test blends. And so the first 200, 250 people each day could get one of those test blends. That's test blend number 2. That may not be the cigar that you're going to get when it's finally done, but that's the one test blend that they have right now. It's really, really neat. We had 900 people every day. 900 people. It's 1,800 people, right? Fantastic and phenomenal. And it was fun. It was so fun. The food was great. The music was great. Did I mention the food was great? The cigars were not too shabby either. And so was the activation stations. Now, I haven't even talked about the VIP experience, which is next level. But you also got to do raffles for Cigars for Warriors. If you're one of the first 24 people each day, you got to, if you donated $100 to Cigars for Warriors, you actually got to enter a long ash contest and smoke a Liga A long ash style. One person got 5.5 inches. There was first, second, and third place, and they got a trophy, and they got a gift card of some sort. Also, if you were the smallest ash, you got a trophy, which looked like a toilet. Drew Estate, right? But it was great. Isola, Pedro, and Ryan Rayford did a great job on stage. Jonathan Drew, Pedro, and Willie Herrera did lots of meetups, lots of greet ups. They were walking up and down the venue, so you could stop and talk to them, and they were more than happy to talk to you. Calibri was there this year, and all their products were 20% off. And they had free butane, no matter what lighter you had, what brand you had, they would fill up your lighter with butane. And they had a lighter that has been yet to be released. Really neat lighter, really nice lighter. I'm looking forward to get my hands on one. And so you could go see the Calibri station. Drew Estate always steps it up a little bit more every year. Now, Drew Estate does not plan barn smokers 6 months in advance. They don't. They don't plan barn smokers a year in advance. It's about 3 years. So right now they're planning for, 2027, 2028. They're planning for 2028, all the swag and everything else and what they're going to do, activation stations. And so it usually takes 3 years. Well, Christine is in charge of barn smokers. And so the first 2 years is like a football coach for college or whatever, and you don't have your players yet. So you're playing with whatever the last coach had. And so Christine had the plans of the other previous barn smokers, which were fantastic. But this year, she really got to put her own thumbprint on own signature, her own style on it, and it was awesome. It was fantastic. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next. But we got to talk about this VIP action. When you got your swag and you got your cigars, then you got to get your VIP stuff. You got another bag, a VIP bag, and in that VIP bag, you got this neat ceramic beer stein of the Black Widow Studio or Black Widow Saloon. You got a huge challenge coin, and you got, not for nothing, a box of H99 Super Ancho, a full box of Super Ancho, 6x60. Big old beast, delicious H99. So you got all of that. And then you went into the Black Widow Saloon, which was an inflatable that was completely closed off with air conditioning. And you needed it. Not only did you have air conditioning, you had two chefs catering to you extra cool food. And then you had two bartenders that were mixing up all your mixology that you needed. And then you had closed circuit TV. So you didn't have to go outside and see what was going on. You could just sit in there and watch and enjoy, right? And then you actually got to meet Willie Herrera. They walked around your table. They came up to you, Willie Herrera, Pedro Gomez, and Jonathan Drew. And they actually put their ambassador cigars in your hand. Jonathan Drew gave you a coffin of two 10 Liga 10 Anniversarios, the Savage Feast. Willie Herrera gave you two of the Cajachinas, and Pedro gave you two of the 20s, right? So the Herrera Esteli Cajachina and the Undercrown 1020. So you got to get all of that stuff. And Isola Woods came in twice, I think, and did different pairings, which was great. I think the soda guy came in and did a pairing as well. And so that was fantastic. It was an event a palooza. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you show up to the Bar and Smoker and you pay for your general admission ticket, when you leave the general admission, if they just gave you cigars, you made your money right there. You just made your money, right? And then you've got all the bag and the swag and the this and the that and everything else. And when you go VIP, and that's a little bit pricey, a little bit more expensive, you actually get that full box of cigars, which basically between the swag cigar or the entry cigars and those cigars, you pay for your ticket. And the rest of it's credits. You get to meet new friends, rekindle old friendships, meet people that you've met on Facebook and in cigar groups and Cigar Dojo and stuff like that. And you get to hang out with them. And you get to just have a great time. It was amazing to see that people didn't lose the cigars out of their mouth because they were smiling so much, because everybody was having a great time. I didn't see anybody frown or anybody complain. It was a little warm the second day. It was breezy the first day. The second day, it was warm. But everybody was getting hydrated. There was no problems with anybody smoking too many cigars and drinking too many drinks and starting to feel bad. I didn't see any of those problems at all. But there was first aid, there was first responders and ambulance there if you needed it. The staff was very cheerful and helpful. They all pitched in to do things. And this was the first year. Drew Estate always does something new at Barn Smoker. So there's always something that needs adjusting and tweaking. It does. And the consumer will never know, but everybody behind the scenes, the volunteers and staff and everybody else, they know, and they got to pivot and fix, right? This year, there was no pivot and fix. The people that took out the garbage, I usually do a lot of garbage runs, emptying garbage bags, make sure they're empty, taking soda bottles and water bottles and put them in the coolers and keep everybody hydrated. I didn't have time to do that. I didn't have the ability to do that because every time I looked at the garbage can, it was pretty much empty. And every time I looked in the mini huge coolers, it was chock full. Tons of stuff in there. The food, oh my gosh. It was barbecue. They had 3 different offerings. It was barbecue and that mac and cheese. That smoked mac and cheese was slap your mama good. The tacos, they had 3 different tacos, a pork taco, a brisket taco and a chicken taco, and they're all barbecue, and those things were amazing. And then they had smash burgers. I'm not a smash burger guy, but this burger was not smashed so hard it was crunchy. It just had a crispness to it. It was delicious. It was delicious. And I could have went back for seconds and thirds, but usually when I do events like this, I don't eat because I'm just busy and smoking cigars. If you wanted to know, which you probably don't, but I'm going to tell you anyway, over that weekend, I probably smoked in excess of 30 cigars, all Drew Estate cigars. Fantastic. That's not a bad thing. Also, you go to the tobacco activation station and you could see the guys there. You get a tobacco dulce or tobacco negra, and all day long, thank goodness, you can go up and get this cold brewed nitro coffee, a lighter coffee and a darker coffee. I'd go up there talking to the feller, and I would I'd fill up my little cup, I'd slam it down while I'm talking to him, fill it up again, slam it down again, and fill it up a third time and walk off. I probably did that 15 times a day because I needed energy because it was a great day. It was a fantastic day. And so got to see lots of great people, give lots of hugs, get lots of encouragement. Got an amazing cigar from Benjamin. And Chief, he had actually handed Chief a cigar too. If I'm not mistaken, it was a Foundation Senator. Not too shabby, right? But this, I think I got the good end of the deal. This thing is amazing. So how's your drive? You doing all right? Traffic going good? I hope it is. How was your week? Did you have a good week? Did everything go the way you wanted it to, or at least go enough the way you wanted it to, where you would say, you know what, I'll give this 4 out of 5 stars. It's kind of nice. We only have so many weeks. It's nice when we have good weeks, right? I hope work is fulfilling and financially rewarding and meets whatever you need. And I hope that when you work, you work. And I hope that when you're not working, you stop working and you start living. That's right. I hope you take those moments. I truly and sincerely mean this when I say the good part of life is with the ones that you love and they love you back. And spending that time with them, nobody ever says at their final moment saying, man, I wish I would have worked 1 hour more. But how often do you think people might say, you know what? I wish I would have spent a moment with so and so, or I wish I would have went to this thing or done this with that person, or I wish I would have said how valuable they were to me. Take today and spend that time when you walk in that house to the ones you love, even if it's a dog, cats, not so much. Look at them and say, I just want to tell you, you make my life better. And I hope I do that for you. And if you love them, tell them. Tell them you love them so many. Don't save it for Christmas. Don't save it for special events. You ain't got to gift wrap love. You can say love all the time. Make it weird. Make it to where they're just hearing it all the time. And people say, well, I won't do that because it normalizes it and it minimizes it and it takes away from the value. You know what? Maybe. But that one time somebody's going through something that you don't know about and you take the moment to tell them you love them, that might be the thing that makes them move forward to the next step. That might be the thing that carries them through something you don't know nothing about. I never want to run out of I love yous and keep them in my pocket and save them for later. There's always another one in my pocket. I pull it out and use it too. I do. I try. Not always. Life happens. I'm a jerk. It's true. It's true. It's true. Good thing the first lady's not here because she would say, well, he can't be a jerk. And I'd say, well, you're right, but I'm trying. But 34 years, I've been blessed. That's for sure. So, what time is it? Oh my gosh, we still have 20 minutes. Unless you've already cut me off, which I can highly understand. But if you haven't, might I tell you about something called Davidoff, Camacho, Avo, Zeno, Nicaragua. And that's right, Baccarat. That's right. This Camacho is amazing. This Diploma Black, this thing is amazing. God, dog. Mm. It is so good. It is so smooth. It is so. Mm. But if cigar smoking is your thing, might I suggest you go with a manufacturer that's going to give you the highest possibility of having a good draw, a good burn, right? Good construction and flavors that you can relate to. One of the great things about the Davidoff family is they didn't just put it all together in one group. They said, okay, we're going to go for an elevated style through Davidoff. We're going to go through a musical, classical style through Avo. We're going to get into that Jimmy Buffett style with the Zeno Nicaraguan. We're going to get into that hidden gem, that Bugatti feel of the Zeno Platinum. We're going to give you something different with the Baccarat. And when you want to just feel country, when you just want to feel like you want to ride the range, but your butt don't fit in a saddle, Camacho may be the thing that you can get. You could fill your humidor up. These 3 humidors, I could fill them up with Davidoff, Avo, Camacho, Zeno Nicaragua, and Baccarat. And I would have so many offerings and so many possibilities for whatever I feel like. Because let's face it, I like steak. I do. Look at me. And I like pizza. Mm-hmm. And I like the First Lady's chicken soup. Oh, so good. Lasagna? Give me some of that too. But when I want pizza, the best lasagna is not going to do it. I don't want steak. Chicken soup? It's chicken poop. So your cigar life can be that way too. Get you some different cigars. Try you some different blends, because not every day you want something heavy. Someday you want something light. Someday you want something short. Someday you want something long, right? Get them and try them. And might I suggest, I'm not telling you what to do. I would never tell you what to do, except for be awesome, because you got to do that anyway. You can't help it. There's a thing I tell new cigar smokers that come and they work at the plant, and when they come out and they talk to me, and I get a lot of people talking to me about it, and they're new into cigars. And I'll talk to them about cigars, and they'll start smoking cigars and say, I like this, I like that, I like whatever. And I start turning them on to something in that same lane. And usually there's somebody else around them that is a newer smoker that's the same way. I said, hey, why don't y'all do this? Why don't you buy a box of this, and you buy a box of this, and then split? It's called a box split. So each person buys a box. And then if it's a 10 count box, you take half and you give it to the other guy, and the other guy takes half and gives it to you. Now, if you do a 13 count box or a 25 count box, my rule is the guy who bought it gets to keep the extra cigar, or girl. Let me not be gender biased or whatever it is, that silly thing that you can't be. I need to drink a soda. Hang on just a second. Oh my goodness. The First Lady just walked in. Hey, First Lady. You're sitting over there in Chief's area, just chilling out, looking lovely as always. I'm going to turn on Chief's microphone. And if you want to put on the headset, you can join me, not video wise, but you can join me audio wise on, you'll be my first guest. You'll be my first guest on the podcast, brought to you by Camacho.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Look at that. There's the First Lady. So
here
lovely.
I am. Is it the end of the ride or the beginning of the ride?
We are 16 minutes left. And so I close with about a minute of encouraging words. And maybe I'll give you a minute before. So we've got about 12 minutes here.
Okay.
Now, you went to Barn. I've been talking about Barn Smoker.
Oh.
And I've been talking
our
about
favorite topic lately.
I've been talking about your giveaway that we did this morning.
Yes.
And so I've covered that ad nauseum. So we won't jump into that again. But if y'all don't know, the First Lady is my wife.
Hello.
And Chief's mama.
Hello.
And so she has come alongside us in the channel, and she has found love for the cigar culture and she is a great part of the channel, adding to the facets and reaching people who don't smoke cigars, who love people who do. So I'm not going to talk about your show, but I'll throw that little pitch out there real quick.
Thanks.
But you don't smoke cigars.
Nope.
Okay. If I was just Bob, which I am, and I wasn't Bob the cigar guy, and I said, I'm going to this barn smoker in Connecticut. I'm going to get a plane ticket. I'm going to get a hotel. I'm going to get a rental car, and I'm going to spend money on cigars and the event. What would you think about that? Just from on the outside looking in.
Okay, so I would go back to when you first started smoking cigars. You were not Bob the cigar guy yet. You were Bob on the fringe of breaking into a new thing that
I
you
just
enjoyed.
got cigars for Father's Day, birthday, anniversary,
Right.
and Christmas.
But do you remember it was the cigar? Was it Smoke Inn?
No,
what was it that you wanted to go to?
JR Cigars.
JR Cigars over in North Carolina.
Smoking in the Carolinas.
Smoking in the Carolinas. Okay, there you go. That's
which
what
is
I'm
a
looking for.
multi-vendor event.
So I would jump right back to just Bob, not Bob the cigar guy, didn't know anything about cigars, and you were just on the cusp. I mean, like just on the cusp of like, hey, cigars might be something I'd enjoy
Rookie
doing. So you said, hey, I think I'd like to go do this. And I said, let's go. And you were like, you want to go with me?
I don't remember it that way.
You don't remember it that way?
I remember.
How do you remember it?
I have a surprise for you.
Actually, you might be right.
I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, what? She goes, I bought us tickets to a cigar event in North Carolina.
Actually, you might be right.
That is right.
And I rented us a hotel room. We didn't have to rent a car, but we did have to drive.
That's right.
And it was because the flashback that I'm having in my mind now is the picture of you with all of your cigar stuff that you got that day on the bed in the hotel room.
And then you try to give all yours to Steven, and I took it back.
I'm always trying to give to the people. It's always about everybody else. But yes, but that's what I would support you.
All right. So
if you said I'm getting a hotel and I'm flying out there, now are you offering to let me go with you, or are you just saying, hey, I'm going to do this?
I'm just telling you I'm going because I would expect, if I'm just Bob, that you don't want to go to a cigar thing because you can't stand the smell of cigar smoke and blah, 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 blah. And so in that point, would you be like, yeah, go ahead and do it? Or would you say something to the point of, we have cigars at the house and you don't have to have a hotel. You got enough cigars.
You can smoke for free on the back porch.
You can smoke for free at home.
Actually, I think the next thing after, yes, let's go, would be, I want to go too. And if you said, well, I only have one ticket, I would then follow that up with, I can find something to do while you're at the event and we'll still be together after.
That's fair.
And then if you followed that up with, well, a bunch of people want to go smoke at a lounge or they want to hang out in the parking lot somewhere and they want to smoke cigars, I would say, okay. And I would come do that with you until I was done. And then I would go to the hotel room and take a shower, all of that stuff.
Wash off the smoke.
Yeah, no, I'd want to go.
So now that you've been, and now that you've seen, because you have a very unique experience where you have seen how the sausage is made, right?
Yes.
You've got to see the other side, and you really got to see how much work is put into it and how much passion and how much love and how much craftsmanship. And you've got to meet all these people, and you've been to a handful of barn smokers.
Yep.
If there was somebody that's listening and they want to share this with their sweetie and say, hey, I know you don't smoke cigars, but check this out from your perspective in 5 minutes or less. I got to put a timeline on it. What would you explain that experience as? Your experience. What could they experience if they don't smoke cigars? That's a question.
Wait, do you want my personal experience? Do you want my input?
What would a consumer?
What
would a consumer experience if they don't smoke cigars and they go to a barn smoker?
I would say number one, check out the weather and dress according to the weather. Don't try to be cute. Be cute because I like to try and be cute. I mean, there's only so much cuteness I can be, but
You're
like
gorgeous.
be cute, but definitely dress for the weather. Wear shoes appropriate for walking around at a barn.
It is a barn. It is an
It
actual
is
farm.
at
It's an
an actual
agricultural
farm.
place.
So wear shoes appropriate to walk around a barn. Um, Number three, expect cigar smoke.
But not
But don't expect to be so overwhelmed that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this for 5 or 6 hours.
8
Expect to be there all day,
all day.
because you're standing in the line to get in, and then you're in, and then it's like, oh, time's over and we got to go. Some people hang out and don't
You're right.
actually leave. But yeah, expect it is an event. Expect new experiences. I think if you actually go and you join in, expect to learn something new that you didn't know before that could really change how you perceive.
I've got a question just came to me.
What is that?
And this is a question I don't know. I don't know why I've never thought of this question. If you're a non-cigar smoker like you are,
Yes.
and you went to a barn smoker, but it was not any cigars. If you just remove cigars from the equation, you kept the same events, you kept the same activation stations, you kept the same food, you kept the same music, you kept the same stage presence, you kept the same everything, including the clean bathrooms. Would it be worth it to you to go? If it was just a non-cigar event that was just the same, does it have enough value to you that you would enjoy going to it and spending the day?
Yeah, because I'm not a cigar smoker. And so when I go, you take the cigars out of it anyway.
But there's no, yeah. So it
So
would be valuable.
I'm not there because of the cigars. You would have to ask a cigar smoker that question.
Would you go would this be something that if it didn't do cigars, would you still go even if I didn't go? If it was an
So
event
I
like
would have to
this.
know like who the headliner is.
All right.
I'd want a headliner. I would be going. I mean, there's always a purpose for you spending money and going to do something, right? So the draw for Drew Estate is cigars. That's what their community is all about. So if Drew Estate was going to throw a event that had nothing to do with cigars, they would have to have a headliner.
All right.
And so that would be what I would be going like. What you have to have a draw.
I guess what I was wondering is, as somebody who does not smoke cigars,
Mhm.
anybody who doesn't smoke cigars, we love people who smoke cigars,
Mhm.
and they want to go. I know it's been for years. People would say, "Yeah, my wife came, but she's going to," especially in Florida. They're going to go to Disney, or they're going to go to shop at the outlets, or they're going to shop at whatever, and we'll meet up at the hotel, or we'll stay an extra day and we'll do their stuff afterwards. And it seems this year to me that there are more non-cigar smokers hanging out that are having a great time.
Okay, so number one, it's a great trade-off. Like if I'm not going to your cigar, like if we take your scenario, hey, I'm going to this, I got a plane ticket, and da 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 da, and I'm like, okay, I'm going. Well, you can't go to the barn smoker. Okay, I'll find something else to do. Like it's a good trade-off. It's a good trade-off to get to go do something together, yet you're separate, and then you come back together. Like I'm about that. If I'm going, I want to be included. Like I don't want to just sit at a table all by myself and not do anything. Like I want to walk around with you. I want you to introduce me to people that you know. I want other people to come up and talk with me.
Well,
Like
everybody
I
knows you.
want it to be a social event.
And it is.
And it is. It's hard though when you're not the smoker to feel included. I'm going to take that back. It's hard to allow yourself to feel included because that's the kicker.
That's true.
You have to be willing to allow yourself to feel okay.
That's true.
And so I highly recommend, if you are in the frame of mind where you're willing to allow yourself to be open to a new experience, to be open to including yourself, I say do it. I say go and experience it. And I definitely say check out the cigar community while you're there.
Facts. Make new friends.
But, like, I'm a people watcher. This is one of the things I like to tell. Like, I'm a people watcher, right? And I like to watch people. So even if you go and you allow yourself to get into the lives of somebody else that you're watching from across the way, like, that can even be a draw. Like, go people watch.
That's fair.
Watch these cigar smokers and how they interact with one another. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at who these people show up to be.
Now, I will throw out a caveat for people saying, yeah, I'm going to take my sweetie. I'm going to take him to the bar and smoker and all this. And Bob the Cigar Guy and First Lady said it's great. It is. But I've been to bar and smokers with just me and Chief. I've been to bar and smokers with me, Chief, First Lady, and Shannon Jade, which is Chief's wife. My Gracie has went. And then it's just been me, Chief, and the First Lady. Recently, we've been going pretty solid because she's a superstar.
And we did do one last year that was just you and me.
Making things happen. But I will tell you that when there is a trade-off, I don't want her to hear me, so I'm going to talk quiet. So when we go to barn smokers, we do all barn smokers. We just want to sit with the people when the barn smoker's not going on and smoke cigars. We don't care about food. We want to, let me look over there, see if she's fussing at me. She's not fussing yet. We will just order hamburgers, or we will get something in the car on the way home, or somebody order pizza or chicken wings or whatever. We don't care. The First Lady likes to experience experiences.
The First Lady does care.
And so the First Lady will be like, so what is there to see in this town? And Chief and I will both say, barn smoker.
Yeah, you guys don't go beyond the front door of the hotel.
That's not what we're there for. We're there for that, and the First Lady will want to go to, which gives great events or great moments. I mean, we went to a dive bar, which was great, had great conversations, but
it was a great experience.
Here's the thing: I wanted to go back and smoke cigars. So if you do that with your sweetie, know that you may not get to spend as much time outside the hotel smoking with all the people that you made new friends with, because she's like, I'm ready to go.
So this would be what I would say to the cigar smoker.
That's a fact.
Is okay. Yes, immerse yourself. And we're there to support you in immersing yourself. Be kind in that immersion and say to your own self, I have done all of this stuff. I can give up a couple of hours, and I'm not going to. So go find a local dive bar and go to it.
It was fun.
We did it great. And now they were short on staff, and this seems to be.
It took forever.
A lingering. This is long COVID. I swear this is long COVID.
Forever.
They were understaffed, and so it took us a little while. But that food we got
was banging.
And the people at that dive bar, listen, the reviews
I want to go to another dive bar.
The reviews online were like, it is definitely a locals hangout. Like, you're going to go get the and the bartenders know the locals. But let me tell you, the bartenders and the locals are welcoming. It was like walking into Cheers.
It was. Norm.
It really was like walking into Cheers.
But
the people were super nice, and there were people at the bar that were talking, and Bob the Cigar Guy knew what they were talking about, and so he like joined in their conversation, and then they joined into our conversation, and so it was like coming home. It was kind of nice. So compromises can be fun.
First Lady says compromises can be fun, and it is fun and this and that. But what I would suggest you say, sweetie, all right, so this weekend before Barn Smoker weekend, we're going to go do something you want to do. We'll go watch The Notebook DVD,
You go
or,
horseback riding with me. How about that?
we'll go do this, or we'll go do
Horseback
that.
riding.
And that will be your week, and I will ask for nothing. I will not complain. I will not watch my watch. We will just do it, because next week is Barn Smoker Week, and we are going to do all thing barn smoker.
You'll take me back to the ranch where I can ride horses for 4 hours a day, and you can just sit around and do podcasts and videos and smoke cigars and leave me alone to ride horses for 4 hours a day.
That's a little bit pricey. So, but we are at that time. We're actually over time. And so, Sarah, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to say encouraging words to the people as they're getting home and out of their car. And we're going to close this out, and then try to take just 30 seconds, and I will close out after that.
I hope your car was cool and comfortable. I hope that if it was cold outside and rainy outside, you were dry on the inside and warm. And if it was hot and muggy, you were cool. I hope that no bugs hit your windshield. And I hope that there was no traffic, because I hate traffic. So I hope your ride home was great. I hope that these last however many minutes that I joined you was wonderful, and you would love to do that again someday, maybe. I don't know. This is Bob's podcast. But I hope you arrived wherever you were going safely, and whatever you're going to do is wonderful.
47 seconds. So that's pretty good for you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping on. I'm glad you came out here. Thank you to Camacho for giving us the opportunity to spend time with you. I hope you found it valuable, because you're valuable.
Go buy a Camacho cigar.
Your mute button works. Go live your life. Go find those people that love you. Love the people that you're with, for sure. Have a great, great day. You're home. Park the car, get out of it, shut that door, get in there where people love you and you love people. Start living, prepare for next week. But take those moments, take those pauses. And if you like to smoke cigars in those moments, might I suggest a Davidoff, a Navo, Camacho, a Zeno Nicaragua, and a Baccarat. Right? Get you one, try you one. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Give me some likes, give me some shares, give me some love, give me some subscriptions. I could use some of that. We'd like to get to 10K. As soon as we hit 10K, we're going to do a massive giveaway. And if you know this channel, you know the giveaways are amazing. You can give away tons of stuff before the first lady does. And so can't do that till we hit 10K. We're stalling at 92, 9,300. Step it up. Tell your friends. I'll talk to you later. Have a great week. I love you. Later, Tater.